While this might not be a new favorite, I just have yet to really be disappointed by a Guy Gavriel K novel. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about Written on the Dark by Guy Gavriel K, which is upcoming and will be released on May 27th. And despite the fact that I still have quite a few GGK novels to read, I was really excited to see there was a new one, and I knew that I definitely wanted to hopefully get a copy here, so I did request and got an e-arc via NetGalley, and was just excited to jump in. Now, I say specifically this isn't a new favorite, and yet I've enjoyed all of the Guy Gavriel K that I've read. I started with The Lions of Al-Rassan, which became arguably my favorite novel of all time, definitely right up there, and then did Song for a Bone, which was a very comparable quality. I've since done the Sarantium books, which I was a little bit more than on, but still really, really enjoyed. And then now with this one, which is a little bit different from the other ones, while still definitely feeling very, very connected. So the first thing that feels a little bit different with this one is the prose, which is a big thing that I've really enjoyed about Guy Gavriel K. The way he writes, it just sucks me in immediately. And even that's where with Sailing to Sarantium, which is probably my least favorite I've read so far, I still really enjoyed it. And there were so many things I really loved about it, despite some of the things I didn't. This one's a little bit different. And immediately with reading it, the cadence is a little different. The sentence structure, the way it's written is a little bit different. And it feels kind of reminiscent of, poems or lyrics in that way, which makes sense because we are following a poet who's our main character here, Thierry Villard or Villard. I'm not really sure. It's like medieval France, so I'm probably mispronouncing everything, honestly, which is okay. But Thierry, who is a sort of middling renown, somewhat notorious, though, tavern poet, at least he thinks he's more middling, but is a little bit more known than he thought. And a common theme in Guy Gavriel K novels, he ends up drawn into events much bigger than himself. You're going to find a lot of the things that you find in K novels, where we're seeing politics, we're exploring power and gender roles, especially with the way that plays into power. There's struggle with that. There's war. There's art. There's talks of legacy. The thing here, though, that just felt especially poignant and I thought was really beautifully explored is looking at the idea of people who aren't really a part of the story but are still impacted by it. And some of my favorite passages from other K novels I've read is where it takes a moment, steps away from the story, and talks about what maybe happened to some random farmer over here. This kind of takes that up a notch, at least from the ones that I've read, and really focuses it and has honestly one of my new favorite little passages, which is this beautiful passage that's just talking about how it's as easy to die as somebody who's not on the page in the story, and it's just kind of an interlude, and at the edge of a story instead of at the center of it. And there's several passages throughout that kind of talk about that, the idea of just parts of our lives that are maybe interludes, but also interludes where for the story maybe these characters or this person or what happened here isn't really important, but it's important to them. And it's something that Kay has explored, and I love that idea that he's had and thematically looked at before, but here again it just feels like we're looking at it a little bit more. And it's also one of the reasons that made this, I think, feel a little bit different, because while our main characters are pretty close to the action, and in some ways, we're spending a little bit less time just exploring the side things with our characters, we also have a little bit more of a focus, or at least it feels that way to me, on looking at the other characters, the other people of what's going on, and how these people end up then either being relevant or not being relevant. But you find out a lot of things about the character that you might only see for a couple of pages. Maybe you find out how their life turned out and that type of thing. And with what's being explored here, I just think it worked really, really well for me. And so I really enjoyed those aspects. I will say, this one being another poetry inspired one, I've never been much for poetry, so the actual poems themselves that we have throughout, for the most part, didn't really do a whole lot for me, but that's definitely more of a me thing. But like every K novel, there are just passages in this one, like I said, is a little bit different with the prose style, but there are still just passages that are just absolutely beautiful and just fantastic to read. And those are the parts you just want to read again. And the things that I feel for me are a trademark of Kay, where he just will write these just absolutely beautiful, perfect passages. And so you're still going to get some of those throughout. Definitely fear not if it feels a little bit different coming up too. The other thing that stands out about this one is it feels more personal in some ways. I feel like you really see Kay's kind of hand in the story a little bit more, and there are definitely some, not to be anything specific, but definitely some references and connections you see to some of Kay's other novels, and kind of looking back and seeing some things there. So it was really cool to see that kind of thing. There's been some of that in his other books that I've seen as well, but seeing some of those, and just with some of the choices that he makes as well, which feel very, very intentional. It's just again, and it's the best way I can think of to say this, feels a little bit more personal in some ways, and I hope that's not a sign that like he's doing a little bit more of that as he's nearing the end of his writing. I hope that he'll keep writing many more novels, because I will certainly keep reading them. But that's just something that kind of again stood out to me. And so while this is again, this isn't Lions, this isn't Arbonne, but it is really good. And I have a feeling that Kay is never gonna write anything less than a really good novel. I haven't read all of them yet, so we'll see. But I always come back to Bridger, the library ladder, who says that Kay's novels range from the truly excellent to the merely very good. And that has been my experience, is the worst I can ever say of a Kay novel is it's merely very good, which is certainly not a derogatory thing, but you're ranking against himself. I did end up 4 stars on this one, didn't quite get to 5, but there are just moments where, again, I enjoyed reading this so much. Kay is an author that when I'm reading his books, they're so easy to get lost in, to just be absorbed in, and I really, really enjoyed my time with this. And there are so many things, immediately passages, things I'm going to highlight and just think about. It's the kind of book that's not going to leave me for a while. And while it's not going to be an all-time favorite, it still just has a lot of great things. I think if you're a fan of Kay, you're going to enjoy this. I think it's one of the ones where it's just, if you like his style, if you like what he does, you're going to get a lot of that. He does do some things that are a little bit familiar, but for me, they don't tend to feel too repetitive, because he's exploring things in different ways. And we have different focuses, different themes that are kind of put in there, along with a lot of the broad strokes things that he likes to do. And again, this one feels different, which I think is a good thing, because you still have the trademark things from GGK. You're still going to get a lot of that stuff, but there's also some things that are different. I think it's interesting to see an author do things a little bit differently than they normally do. And honestly, it just has me really excited to get to more Kay. Every time I read one of his novels, it just makes me even more excited to get to the next one, which is, I feel like, a pretty big compliment for any author, and really best case scenario of what you want. But overall, those are my thoughts on Written on the Dark by Gavriel Kay, out again on May 27th. Definitely check it out. I will link to where you can pre-order below. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. If you did get an advance copy and read this, or if you're just watching this after the book is out, definitely let me know your thoughts. If you agree, disagree with anything that I said, I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, that's it for this one. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether this book, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.